camera will live on in many hearts as the ultimate action hero. He was simply dashing in the Dynamite Samurai series. I have heard that. But there was an accident during filming 5 years ago. He got an unlucky break after that, reduced to playing the villain on a children's program. What's more, I heard they were paying him peanuts. It's enough to make you cry. Why are you so certain Mr. Powers is a killer? I was standing right here yesterday. I was here from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. when they found the body. Now, the studio where the murder took place is to the left here. So if you want to go to the studio, you have to pass by me. Only one person went by here between 1 and 2:30 when the murder took place, and that power was Mr. Powers. Person was Mr. Powers. But Mr. Powers says he was sleeping in his dressing room. I'm sure he would say that. He's no fool. But he was the only one that walked by. He's a killer. You can bet your biscuits on it. Isn't it about time you'd be heading home? There's nothing more to see here. Move along. Actually, we're here at Mr. Powers' request. Oh, you were suspicious looking. Show me a letter of request and maybe I'll just let you in. I'm not touching, I'm looking. An overhead map of the studios. Right from here is the employee area. To the left are the actual film studios. Here's a gate. The van. I think that's it. What's that? Are you giving that to me? Absolutely not. Nope. Okay. Hello, how's the studio? They all think I did it, don't they? No, not at all. Isn't that right, Nick? Right? Not at all. At worst, you're a suspect. No, I'd never do that. Earlier you said you're sleeping in your dressing room after lunch. Yes, like a baby. But the security lady says she saw you that day. She says she saw you heading towards the scene of the crime. That's not possible. I really don't know what to say. I was sleeping, I promise. If you want me to help you, you have to tell me the truth. I need every advantage I can get. I know, I'm sorry. But I swear to you on my mama's grave, I was sleeping. Maybe the security lady only thought she saw me? What did she see? He doesn't seem to be lying. About the security guard at the main gate to the studio. Oh, security lady? She's terrible. She called me suspicious. Actually, she said the same thing to me before. Take off that mask, were her words, I believe. She sucks up to all the bigwigs at the studio, but lets her see you stumble once and she'll never let you. He's got some nerve. Do you think you could write up a letter formally requesting my representation? Of course. Just hope this will get me past that security lady. We'll see. Okay. You're always doing your job, dude. And have a look at this. I recognize the bold, childish scrawl. No one allowed inside, pal, were my instructions. The detective told me, oh, gumshoe. outside Studio One. October 16th, Studio One entrance. Come shoot. Are you that murderer from the other day? True. My endearing character trait. Wait, wouldn't it also stand for loser? This is remix music, isn't it? How's your investigation going, detective? Well, hey, I can't tell you that, pal. Nick, maybe you need to be a little bit more direct with your questions, right? So, detective, mind if I take a look at what you got? What I got? The autopsy report, the latest version, if you please. Right. Sorry about what happened last time, pal. Wait, does he have to share the autopsy report with a lawyer? Why is Mr. Powers arrested? Simple, pal. The murder took place right over there in Studio One. Now, the victim entered Studio One at approximately 1 p.m. At that time, there was no one other than the victim in the studio. According to the autopsy report, the time of death was 2:30 p.m. Only one person went to the studio between those two times, and that person was Will Powers, no one else. If you think I'm lying, ask the security lady at the main gate. Yeah. About the security lady. Oh, that sweet old lady. What a character. What a charmer. Are we talking about the same person? When I showed her my badge, she gave me a donut and some coffee. Remember what Power said? She's a sucker for authority. She even gave me a piece of valuable evidence. What kind of evidence? Well, the photo of the Steel Samurai heading towards the scene of the crime. Yeah, who did take that? See the camera up there? The gate? Wait, but he stated at one time that she checked him. Whenever someone walks by, that camera automatically snaps a photo of them. Yeah, but if he's wearing an outfit, then basically anybody could be wearing the outfit. Funny, for someone with hard proof, he doesn't look too happy. What's wrong, pal? You seem down. Don't look so happy when you say that. I'd like to ask the employees here some questions. Sure thing. Whoever you like. Of course, you're not going to find any clues I haven't found already. Glad someone around here seems to be enjoying themselves. Nick, let's go. We've got a free pass to the place. Now's our chance to check things out. Camera here, that's the security camera. It takes photos of people going. All you have to do is look at the data and you can see who went there. There's a number plate on the camera, ST1-307. Okay. There's a big welcome sign above the path. Yeah, apparently the studio's fallen on tough times. They've started letting people in on days they aren't filming, and they make a bit of extra money by charging for admission. No, you could always Bitcoin it. You could quit being a detective and work here. Is that my smug face? The studio mascot, I guess it's a monkey of some kind, but what kind of monkey has a nose like that? He's holding a sign in his hand, right to Studio 1, left to Studio 2. Oh, the wind was pretty strong yesterday and the head broke off. It took that tree down with it too. Entrance to Studio 1. This is where Jack Hammer's body was found. Let's go in and check it out, Nick. Hey, it's locked. Looks like you need a key card to get in. Makes sense. Anything else? Oh. Why didn't you tell us about the security photo, ma'am? All that. I just thought it would be more thrilling to talk with the detective himself. These things are important, you know. Well, just to the left from here is a gate with the camera that took that photo. It's my job to check the photos every day, you see? Where you go. You pass by my station first. Now, poor Hammer, he went before 1. The murder happened right after 2:30. See, the only one I seen go through was Powers himself. If he's not the one that did it, I don't know who it is. Could be her, actually. Was the victim Mr. Hammer a popular actor? But he was the biggest star in the studio. He was great as the bearded samurai. That too, yes. He's shown the brightest back in the day. Making a star like him play the evil magistrate, it's a disgrace, I tell you. Hammer took it pretty hard, and who can blame him? Not the security camera. Oh yes, the camera. It's automatic. I can tell when someone walks through that gate, see? Then it snaps a photo. Apparently, it records the time when it takes a picture too. But I don't bother myself with those details. I just view all the photos on the computer over in the security guard station. I check them every day before going home, I do. Are you giving that to me? Absolutely not. This is where they do all the behind the scenes stuff. Look, look. That's Power's dressing room. There's no one here this soon after the murder, I guess. Let's take a look around. I thought we weren't allowed to. Signed by the dressing room door. Will Powers, it must have been neat. It must be neat to be the star and have your own room like this. The door to the dressing room, it's not locked. Let's take a look inside. Maybe we can find something as a souvenir. you know, she kind of means steal, but yeah. Let's see, cola, candy, chips, gum. So normal. I was expecting some cool theme snacks or something. Popcorn at least. Samurai soda. And the garage door. George. You know a lot about the industry. What else would they keep in a film studio? True. Why is this open? There's a half-finished backdrop for a stage here. Looks like a castle, probably near old Tokyo Castle. Looks like one of those electric-powered bicycles. I don't know. What's the point? Makes going up the hills a lot easier. Don't people cycle to get extra? Come on, come on, come on. I didn't mean to do that. October 16th, dressing room. So this is where he was sleeping, or at least this is where he claims he was sleeping. No one actually saw him taking a nap here, did they? Right, and there's a picture of him near the crime scene. Hope he's telling the truth for his sake. There's some regular suits and all the costumes. Those must be his own clothes. It must be fun to wear those. Hey, you were already wearing one myself. There's a bunch of snacks on the table. Must be given to the employees. Some tea and cookies. Nick, I'm hungry. You just had a burger. Oh, yeah, but I got a separate stomach for sweet. How many stomachs does this girl have? Bag. An employee card key. Ooh, okay. Why is she such a thief? You mean borrow, right? My partner, the thief in training. Vast array of cosmetics here. This wig he used in Samurai Boogie Woogie. Nick, try this on. No. How can you tell the name of a show just by looking at a wig? Oh, kind of like samurai movies. Okay, and the window. Block looks like he doesn't open his window much. I guess it's kind of dusty outside. So he was in between here. But that's a really good way to get framed too. Yo, she actually took that away though. taking risks, apparently. October 16th, Studio 1. Hey, look, that's a chair the director sits in. Always wanted to sit on one of those. Hey, Nick, take a look at that. One of those black and white boards, they clap at the film. Look, a megaphone, a real-life megaphone. Ready, Nick? Action. Huh. Got the camera, that must cost a ton. Whoa, it's heavier than I thought. Not old Tokyo, Nick. Neo old Tokyo. Okay. Can you tell me anything about the day of the murder? Yes, I was in the studio the whole day. I was the only assistant on staff that day, seems to be. Only one assistant? Yeah, well, the studio isn't doing so well right now. Yesterday was only rehearsal for our action sequences. Oh, see. In the morning, we went through the action sequences in the employee area. WP and Hammer were there along with everyone else. The employee area, that's where Power's dressing room is, right? Yeah, that's the place. After eating lunch there, Mr. Hammer went to Studio 1. Then I saw WP go into his dressing room. I didn't see either of them after that. Do you know that Mr. Powers was sleeping in his room? No, I wouldn't go in there unless I had some urgent message for him. I mean, it's his private. What kind of girl do you think I am? What kind? No, I'm sorry, you're a fine girl. Sorry. So much for getting a confirmation of Power's alibi. What do we do, Nick? We haven't found anything. If WP was the only one who came to the studio, then he has to be the killer. They even have a photograph. Sorry, I know you're busy. Not really. Actually, there's something that's been bothering me. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. A clue, a lead. Well, I don't know about that, but that day, just afternoon, I sensed someone was here. You sensed? Yeah, several times. Some other studio employees, maybe? No, I don't think so. The only thing we had scheduled was an action scene run-through. I was the only assistant here that day. I have a feeling it was someone from outside. But wait, if someone had come in here, wouldn't that security lady have noticed them? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I don't have any better information than that. Oh, that's definitely helpful. So you sense that someone other than the regular film crew was in the studio. Yeah, I think doesn't cut it in a witness testimony. What about that security lady? If someone else came into the studio, she must have seen them. Alright, security lady time. What? I saw that suspicious look on your face. I wanted to ask you again about yesterday. Oh, old bag. Yeah, her name is actually Old Bag, so... I thought it was just a slight nickname, but nope. Also, it's good name. How you doing? Yeah, we're gonna try it. Yeah, it was a full outfit. Alright, hold on. Oh, okay. Was that it for info? October 18th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Court's now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Edgeworth. Impossible for anyone else to commit this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. Well, okay, I'd like to move on to this to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I'll call most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir, I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This area here is the employee area. Actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. Security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there's a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here's Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people. The victim, Jack Hammer, Will Powers, and young woman production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. I'll jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled because dude was dead. It was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone would like to hear that again? Oh, that's fine. So the murder weapon was a spear. However, how medieval. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. That question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call this security officer to the stand. So she's a witness? Witness testimony? My aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name? Oh dearie, no need to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their name. Wendy Oldbag. Wendy Oldbag? Oh my god. Now the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. And to get the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know yourself, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Okay. The day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyways, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well, let's begin with a cross-examination, Mr. Wright. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been, some errands around that morning. Anyways, it was 1. Let me get this straight, old bag, or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. None other than the Steel Samurai defender of Nia Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course, didn't your mama teach you any sense, honey? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. However, that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is a Steel Samurai. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss or Witness. He's having trouble calling her Old Bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Of course I have proof. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. Or Edgeworth. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. The morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? It's still a dude in the outfit, though. I help make it feel better for him, of course. You help make it better? Or was the assistant then? He was cleaning up backdrops, I think? She didn't know about Powers' ankle. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Which prop? I was there with my duct tape to fix it. That's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai. It's clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo do we see Mr. Will Powers. Defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility too. And allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? Didn't you cut her off? The only person I saw go to the studio before that was Will Powers. No one else went. If they had, I would have seen them. Okay. Quite sunny. Nobody suspicious looking past by at all. What about before you got to the guard station? Mention? It's so weird. So if the death was at 2:30, he's dragging his foot at 2. How long does it take to get in there? And how would he have access to it? I pressed on a lot of details, but do the chest. After some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything. Yeah, no. I was thinking because his foot was dragging that it would take him a while to get through there. Okay, you have the main gate, then basically you take a left to the employee area, go to the dressing room. Okay, but then you go back, you go to Studio 1 and Studio 2. This one's hard. only have one more shot left. Old windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all, or for that matter, entirely forgetting them. Something for you to look forward to, maybe. How do you know that? Nobody's suspicious looking, but you let somebody pass by with just a full outfit on. Taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? It's very sunny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right, anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Well, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the... It says number 2, so where's number 1? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be number 1 if it was the only photo? Such a small little detail, my dude. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. As evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only data for one of these photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access to the security lady herself. You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. The only person you saw, but the camera saw, too. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to me. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldback? Oh, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate, someone other than the Seal Samurai. Well, I suppose you could put it that way. Get a donut, noob. Get a donut. Sigh, I see. Your testimony, please. Why is it that they're changing it now? Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldback, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Well, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Maya's fun. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. Another job? That's right, I checked the people that passed by the main gate that day. I looked closely at. Security takes. Do you back up all the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes, but those computers are just so frustrating. You can tell by looking at their faces for the most part. The rehearsal from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Yeah, we've seen that. A kid could get through there. He's outside, and well, that's where they come in. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. There's a boy, probably second or third grade. Quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind, that's why I erased the data. Oh, God, okay. Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio, I was sleeping, honest. So who is a Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. True. Yeah, I mean, it is true, Maya. Not optimistic at all, actually. Alright, let's go. Damn Fortniters. What does this mean? Please don't say like that. But who would be able to do that for? Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? They're simple, nothing's changed. The other person who went to those studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Alright, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Who do you have in mind? However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you'll be penalized. Great. As if the stakes aren't high enough. So, who was a person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed them? I'd like to say the security lady. Oh, then do prosecutors get whenever they lose? Wait, what? I'm not sure, honestly. So who is this other person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder? I don't think it's the boy. It could have been the security lady. But in technicalities, the only one that could have been there the entire time was the assistant. Because the security lady was like a huge Hammer fangirl. No, she was too much in love with Hammer, so it wouldn't have been able to be. Gonna have to go with the assistant. What about the assistant? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Power's ankle. Uh-oh. Oh no! I died! Oh. Hold on. We'll get through this. God, I gotta go through all this again. Just gonna go through some information real quick. Actually, I was watching Poor Hammer Powers observing, you know, observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? So the witness was on duty throughout the afternoon. What do you say? Alright. Yep, it was this. Okay, come on. Okay. Number 2. Okay. The other person. Cross-examination. Alright, this is where I was before. It's the security lady. Okay. She is by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slip the Studio One. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simply, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. It's not excellent deduction reasoning. I had a restart. Doesn't he usually jump on with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? No meaningful objections at this time. Wait, if it was a boy, the boy wouldn't be able to walk like that. Oh, also. Yeah, true. Miss Wendy, what's her name? Something old bag. Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. Court is adjourned. Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. My lips were sealed. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it. See? They told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studio that day, but if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them go away scot-free. You've been listening. They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bat. Who are the people? The director was in an employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2, yeah. If you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The pathway where the monkey's head was fallen over. Would you like to continue? Hello, my friend. How goes the sleuthing? What's good, Quinby? Thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. And the sleuthing's going well. I actually failed against Old Bag by guessing the assistant during the case and had to restart the entire thing and just speed read through it again. Beat it before the cops came. Dude. Penny Nichols. I didn't even know that was her name. Wasn't worth the dime. Oh my god, no. Is there anything else? Yeah, we already got this info. So you can get this info from 2 different sections. So how goes your goal of finishing a case every session? Feel like you're on a good pace for this one? No. Yeah. Yeah, I heard. Well, that it's impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. Poor Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, I was right to ask you to defend. He was right. You find out more. Now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out who was in that Steel Samurai? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Well, she withheld a lot of information, so yeah. And let's go to the studio. Majority is all the like generally the same. No, Maya's theme is like my favorite in this game so far. But I will be right back because I'm gonna get some more water. Enjoy the theme. I'm back. What's this? Oh, that. Okay. What do you think we should do? What do why don't we do what you just said? We gotta get the scoop on the director and producer. All right, that's there, and guess. That's why I've been saying, let's get to those. We don't have enough information to make a case yet. That's exactly the same thing you said yesterday. Just admit it, you don't have a clue what happened. There's not enough information. I wish I had my own samurai spear. You'd be my own personal pincushion. You know, what if this really was Mr. Powers? Yeah, it's hard to say. We don't really know anyone else it could be. I seriously doubt it was the old windbag. So Mr. Powers is lying? He really doesn't seem the type, does he? Curiouser and curiouser. Hey, you still have that, great. Well, we couldn't get into the scene of the murder without it. And its owner isn't missing it in his detention cell. We need to find some raging clues. Poor old WP. Okay. That's right, thank you for earlier, not at all. We got lucky, to tell the truth. You can say that again, let's not. So WP, do you have any leads that might get us into the right direction? Sorry, but no. Be sure to tell us anything that comes to mind, no matter how small. We can't rely on getting lucky again tomorrow. Yes. Fanboy. Do fanboys sneak into the studio often? No, not that I know of. Security lady's pretty strict with them. But in today's testimony, didn't she say they were often hanging around? Those kids really love the Steel Samurai. They sneak past when she's not looking, I guess. Was the director present at the morning run-through? Yes, he was. He was directing how the Steel Samurai and Evil Magistrate should move. Why didn't you tell us that before? Well, just the studio asked us to keep quiet. That has nothing to do with that. I hate to repeat myself, but Nick here is a newbie lawyer, fresh off the bar. When he loses, he's going to lose big. No, I sure hope not. This car... yeah. Regarding the murder weapon, yes? Is it heavy, that spear? It's pretty hefty, yeah. I don't think the average person would be able to swing it around effectively. That's a spear that broke or something during the morning run-through? Yeah, I goofed on a round kick, you see? I broke the spear. The security lady fixed it for me right away, though. With duct tape, we heard. Excuse me? Thank you for showing me that, whatever it is. I wish I could think of some way to help you, sorry. Regarding this photograph, yes? This really, truly, absolutely isn't you, right? Right. I was sleeping in my dressing room the whole time, honest. But who else could have worn it? Your costume was in your dressing room. Yes, I guess they snuck in and took it while I was asleep. Yes, that's fine, yes. Can people outside the studio get these cards? I don't think so. Even I have to return the card once the show's done filming, that is. Huh. think that's everything here, so going to the studio. Okay. Let's go to the employee area for a quick second. Penny, heard about the trial. Great job, guys. Maya Faye, Miles Edgeworth, Dick Gumshoe, Will Powers, Security Lady, Jackhammer, Assistant, Penny Nichols, Assistant at Global Studios in charge of large props and set pieces, Jackhammer. Damn it. What's Will Powers a pun of? Will Powers. True, they called the security lady. Oh, actually, she just called me. She told me to cover up that drain. You mean that one? Wow, what a mess. I know. I'm not so good with handiwork. Some assistant, right? Yeah, but you do work on the props and the backdrops, right? Right. Just lots of times they end up looking worse than they did before I fix them. Well powered. Shut up. Part of the fun of replaying / watching Ace Attorney is understanding the puns you missed out the first time. Yeah, for Larry Butts, I realized, I didn't realize immediately that Mia called him Harry Butts. Harry Butts. He came in through that drain, so it seems. I guess they covered it in a hurry. Nick, that drain's covered, the boy won't be able to get in. Yeah, I think that was the idea. I feel kind of sorry for him, don't you? You want to rip the grate off? Really, Nick? Can we? Whoa, she's serious? God, Maya. Only this once. We borrowed that. There's a difference. Dressing room. Yeah, what if he wasn't sleeping? Unless he knew he was gonna be asleep. Maya. Maya's the best though. Maya is fun. Oh. Nothing here though. Yes. Oh, hello. Oh, you look a little out of place. It's a clothes, isn't it? I thought my camo vest might do the trick. Kind of an alternative guard fashion thing. Studio. So how are the studios doing? There's police wandering everywhere. It's terrible. They won't even let me clean up, don't want me disturbing evidence. I haven't even cleaned up our lunch plates from the day of the murder. I noticed that. The T-bone steaks. Yeah, can you believe it? Do kids sneak in here a lot? Well, I don't think there's that many of them, but I do see one in particular a bunch. He's always gawking at the set or snapping pictures. You should see old Windbag's eyes flash when she sees him. She has a bit of trouble catching him though. I heard something at the trial today. They said that the director and producer were here the day of the murder. Oh, sorry. I was in the prop storage room, so I didn't see them. Damn Fortniter. I guess they were here, though. The studio head seemed pretty eager to keep us quiet. More the producer, really. The producer's our real star here. She saved this studio from the brink of disaster and kept them running. I don't think we'd be in business if it wasn't for that producer. Because Mr. Powers is the only character we've seen that would be able to wield it. Guess they're pretty good about keeping these outside of outsiders' hands. Okay. Overall, talk to her. We'll go to outside Studio 1. Looks like Detective Gumshoe isn't here. Nick, when you start having to say I'm still young, you know it's all over. He's only 24. He's fine. Leave him alone. When you sympathize, you know it's all over. Leave me alone, noob. This is the studio where they found Jack Hammer's body. Let's go to 1 real quick before we go to 2. Makes me kind of curious if Maya's more like sensitive towards people, towards the location of where people have died. Also, to be fair, she's only 17, so it would make sense. October 18th, Studio 2 entrance. This trailer looks like it's been here for a while. I don't think this is part of some temporary film set. Okay. Love the suspenseful music. The suspenseful music in here is actually not bad. Yo, make me a Battle Network series suspenseful music? I hate that. It was so bad, dude. One of the songs that got on my nerves throughout the entire series. No, I don't have a license, but I do have a license. Wait, how do we not get that? Why can't we ask? Odd. Did I take too long or something? Zooming around. Move. Was there more in the suspense music area? I could have sworn I looked all around. There's nothing left on the plates. They T-bone steak. Why? There's always room for steak, but something does seem off about this place. I don't know. This feels off. The hell? Sal Manella. Oh my god. I make the lead shows. The Steel Samurai, mine. RTFC, read the film credits, my dude. Is Manila the, what was it? This guy dates the game so hard. Closer inspection, yeah, hot. Oh my god. Creative powers. Yes, it's coming to me. Pink Princess. The sequel to Steel Samurai, Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo. Raffle Lamau. Pink Princess? Why's it gotta be Little Old Tokyo? Why can't it have a cool name like Neo Old Tokyo? Wow, we really need to work on your definition of cool. Who dudes are... The security lady told you about us. That's right. It was a pretty regular day. We had a run through for action scene in the morning. So Manila is the producer, I'm assuming? In the studio from lunchtime in the trailer. I was so busy I didn't even get a chance to eat lunch that day. So T-bone steak was it? Yo, T-bone steaks. They keep talking about it more and more. I would love one right now. I hate missing it. Oh my god. At least he gets one of the sickest themes in the game while you suffer through his garbage. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I was in the meeting from noon till after 4 with the producer and some bigwigs from the network. Mr. Hammer's time of death was estimated at 2:30. If he's telling the truth, that means the meeting gave him an alibi. About the producer who was at the meeting with you. Oh, you mean D. Vasquez? D. Vasquez. D. Voss? The vase? He's a genius. He brought the studio back from the brink of destruction. Had a meeting with her on the day of the murder, right? Yeah, we were together from noon to 4 the whole time. Who exactly are these bigwigs? People keep mentioning the boss over at the network and some sponsors, also a few production guys. They piled on into a limousine and got here around noon. Major tension. Were all of them with you the entire time? Yeah, unfortunately. They're all gray-haired geezers. They'd all be reliable witnesses. Or Maya. Oh, interesting. At least he gets one of the sickest themes in the game while you suffer through his garbage. Ugh. The MIDI version of this song is my ringtone. Really? That's neat. Dude, I just wanna, I need him to be the culprit. Oh god, old bag. Oh my god! I want the key! Okay. There we go. Cody Hackins. Cody Hackins. Oh, lordy. Have you heard anything about the incident the other day? You were here, weren't you? Did you see anything? He always, the Seal Samurai always win. Yeah, I saw him. I saw everything. What? But no way am I telling you losers. What? Let me go. Something fell off the table when he bumped into it on his way out. A bottle? Empty bottle found on a table in the employee area. The label reads... Yep, he has some sleeping pills. That's why he didn't wake up. He saw everything. Examine. There's nothing new around. Slide on over. We'll check out the dressing room real quick. Okay, thank you. You are real help. Oh, the kid! Finally! Finally! Okay. We have that info. Let's do it. Let's go to... Let's go to the detention center real quick. Okay. Go to outside Studio 1. Examine a little bit. Probably nothing around. Yep. Move to Studio 2. Actually, before going to Studio 2, I don't know why. I always want to check out, like... Yeah, nothing. Okay. Nobody there. You... Examine... Yep, it works. Great, let's go, Nick. I'll like you first. Ugh, not that eager. Alright, trailer it is. Ooh. Names. Our names were WP's lawyers, and I see. And who might you be? The Vasquez. The producer. I am missing the pun on this name. Day of the crime. Wondering if you could tell me about the day of the murder. Ms. Vasquez? Script. Script. I'm looking for a script. A script? The Steel Samurai episode 13. I need it. Could we ask you a bit about this? I need to read it. Getting nowhere fast. About the director, Salmonella, was it? What's exactly his role here? Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. I'm looking for a script. I can't be bothered with anything else. Wait, yes? You see Manila, give him this. Okay, we have a memo. Producing a show is expensive. This is where they had a meeting. Window. Samurai Summer starring Jack Hammer. Poster's quite old. Wow, it's been years since I saw that show. It was one of those typical summer romance stories, but it was great. A typical summer romance with a samurai and a horse. Another old movie poster, The Singing Samurai starring Jack Hammer. What the hell do samurai sing about? Chopping off heads? Oh my god, that movie was the best. It's about a samurai who sings his way to fame and fortune. Mr. Hammer was a very accomplished singer, you know. Singing Samurai stars. What's next? Ninja Ballet? An old movie poster, Dynamite Samurai starring Jack Hammer. I guess Mr. Hammer used to be quite the star. Nothing here that could be a clue, just some paper cups and crumpled document. There's as much talking as we could do now. Damn it. Here it is. I got this from the producer. Huh? Bring me the script for episode 13. Episode 13. Where did I put that one? Must have left it somewhere. Sweats. Uh-oh, my. I don't find it. Okay. Might just be quicker to look in all the places he's likely to have been. Is it quicker? They were expired, Maya. You don't want them. You didn't want them. Oh god. Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe they're not expired. Just a little bit expired. Well, I say better not to risk it. The only place I know he was in was trailer 2. And trailer or studio 1, technically. Found it. Script. Move. 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 Oh my god, please. Oh, should not have come back here. Let's not, noob. Let's not. Here, we found it, your script. Vasquez. You're not going to talk to us. Quiet, I'm reading. Just you hold on, what's the big idea? Who do you think you are anyway? And who do you even know? Do you even know who we are? Powers lawyers? Right. Am I a suspect? No, it's just, well, no, but you wanted to know about the day of the murder? Yes. Anyway, you could tell us. That'd be a big help. You know, there was a meeting here at noon, yes? With the director and the people from the network, correct? Now listen closely. None of the people in this trailer that afternoon went to Studio One. It was impossible for us to leave. Impossible? Why? The path was blocked. The path? What do I have to present? Oh. On the day of the murder, the path that leads here was blocked. You saw Mr. Monkey on the way here, correct? Mr. Monkey? The monkey with the broken head. Oh, right. Yeah. Its head fell over in the wind on the day of the murder. They didn't start moving the head until 3. It was after 4 p.m. The time the path was blocked. Everyone in the trailer was stuck here until the path was cleared. Stuck in this trailer until 4. Hammer died at 2:30, thus none of us could actually go to Studio One. Some people in to clear the way. I'm sure they corroborate my story, but wait, what if the head fell over after 2:30? Then you could have gone to... Very well, come. One ook per hour, ook 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 ook. Always. There's a monkey after all. Check its head. The clock inside stopped when it broke. It stopped at 2:15. That's right. This path was blocked from 2:15 till after 4. Therefore, we're innocent. Mr. Hammer died in Studio 1 at 2:30. See? Goodbye. Huh. There's anybody who besides WP who could have killed Hammer. It's over. We're finished. Sure doesn't look good. Guess we should head back to the office and plan our strategy. I don't think there's anything else in Engage. One last look. Main gate. Yeah, you can't help with that. October 18th. Now what? We're fresh out of clues. Everyone's alibi is watertight. We don't have any promising leads. Things are looking pretty grim. A little early for giving up, don't you think? You've got one lead. Okay, Mia. I has trouble calling me unless she's really in trouble. Right, oh, wait. I guess that means we're really in trouble. I'd say so. What did you mean we have one lead? The boy, of course. I saw him. I saw everything. I'm not telling you. He has a camera. What to do? So what's the best thing to do from here? We need to get to the studio and talk to that boy. Maybe he is? I have enough info to make the case yet. Oh, I see. You know what they say, dead men don't tell tales. You sure are talking enough. Yeah. Wait, what if I... Okay, fine. We figured out the name of the plane. Oh wait, can we figure out the name of the movie? Damn it. They couldn't catch the kid. Old windbag. Oh. Should I go back to there first? Give me a second. Move. Let's go back to the main gate. Present. No. Okay. Listen to me, Sonny. I don't like having that snow whippersnappers. You take this and we're even, deal? What's this? A Steel Samurai trading card? That sneaky kid dropped it. I figured it's pretty important to him. Thank you, I may have a use for this. This must be the hostage she was talking about. Right, I'm off. There's the kid. Steel Samurai is so cool. I think he's the bomb. Huh? What would a lamer like you know about the Steel Samurai? Hey, watch the attitude. Phoenix, you really shouldn't yell like a kid. Or yell at him like that. He's just a kid. But don't you know anything about what happened here? Could you tell me, please? I don't know anything. Looks like a low persuasion. Oh my god. And present him. Okay. We are the very basis of our consumer society, namely the principle of fair trade. Man, for a grown-up, you sure are dumb. What do they teach these kids nowadays? However, I don't need that card, huh? I got a double. Just keep it, it's yours. What? After I went through all that trouble, if you want to trade, find me a really rare card. Really rare? Sorry, what was that about my... Oh, nothing. Dude, I have to search for an ultra super rare... Wait. Okay. Uh-huh. But I need the super ultra rare card. Forklift. Move. Main gate. Would have a super ultra rare card. Maybe WP would know. Oh. super ultra rare card. Okay. Let's check. Here. Salmon. Blue. Can only do here. Examine. Oh. 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 Hmm. Okay. Trailer, maybe? Oh, hi. Oh, Penny. To arrange some stuff, yeah. The girl with you, doesn't she seem a bit different? Like is she even the same person as before? Nope, she's the same as always. Same as always. Okay, whatever you say. I'll talk. Fanboy. You seen that boy since then? Nope. You missed it though. The security lady was chasing around after the boy so fast I thought she'd collapse. Of course, he got away in the end. Boy, she was mad. Actually, we saw them. How's the old windbag doing? She was squeezing donuts at the guard station. Are all the posters on the wall here of Mr. Hammer? It's a terrible loss for the studio, but his popularity has been waning recently. That's true. Then again, after what happened, you mean you don't know about Hammer? No, what? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. What happened? I'm sorry, I'm probably not the one who should tell you. Oh, why do I get the feeling something's being covered up here? Of course it is. She's such a nerd. Love it. Okay. The samurai musical set in ancient Japan. A samurai musical? Is that even a genre? Impressed. You know your stuff, Mia. Why, as a real fan, I just picked up a little bit. Jack Hammer. This one is one of Maya's favorite movies. Maybe we should replace poster in the office with this one. That would be kind of sad. Okay. Anything else? Okay, got the super rare card. Gotta go see the kid again. Main gate. Move. Employee area. Move. Employee area. Move. Dressing room. Talk. Oh. That. See this card? Yeah, so wait, that's it. That's the last ultra rare premium card I need. Of course it is. Come on, give it to me, please. You gotta give it to me. Wow, I've never seen him so eager. Right, okay, how about a trade? Here on. I'll give you a samurai spear and throw in an evil magistrate to boot. No, not that kind of trade. I don't want the card, I want info. Huh? You sure? Fine by me. Okay, Phoenix, let's hear what he has to say. If he knows something that could help us, we can have him take the stand tomorrow. I just have to talk to him. So cool. I guess you're judging him based on his looks. You have to look at his actions, at his life. I'm being lectured on life by a grade schooler. You like him too, don't you? Yeah, of course. I love the Steel Samurai. So tell me, what's your favorite thing about him? His fighting skills. Yeah, Wazam. The Steel Samurai always wins, always. Check this out, it's my fan album. What the? It's all pictures of the Steel Samurai. I go to every live performance. Those stupid publicity stunts where they beat each other up in public. Always take a picture when the Steel Samurai lands the final blow. Wazam. Got them all. I never missed one. A perfect collection. Check it out, my new digital camera. Oh, that's very impressive. That's very impressive. The newest model, isn't it? You bet, lady. I just got it for my birthday. My album has a name. Want to hear it? The Steel Samurai Path to Glory. The Steel Samurai always wins, always. Hey, if you want this, you can have it, lady. Really? You sure? Yeah, I took these with the digital camera. I got all the data at home, so I can always make another one. Don't give it to... Nah, couldn't be. We had to. Okay, what happened? You were here on the day of the incident, right? Yeah. Did you see anything unusual? Cody? Cody, he needs to know because he's fighting for justice. Isn't that what the Steel Samurai's model for great justice? We just have to help. You have to help us fight for great justice too. Yeah, I saw everything. Well, what did you see? Cody, I need to ask you very soon. What did you see on the day of the incident? I got here around 2. I had to come in through the woods out back so that old lady wouldn't see me. I kinda got lost there for maybe a half hour or so. Then I finally got to the studio. After that, what is it, Cody? Steel Samurai killed the bad guy. He used his samurai spear, just like always. One shot, one kill. It happened so fast I got scared. I went home after that. I see. It must have been hard for you. And you say those nice things, but so obvious you aren't speaking from the heart. I think we can say for sure this means the Steel Samurai did it. True enough. And the director has an alibi, so it wasn't him. Indeed, so the only person left who could have been was Will Powers. Kind of a shock, but if you put this boy on the witness stand, and your client will be guilty for sure. Let's not call him then. I think that would be wise. Best to leave this one alone. Not so fast, pal. Oh god, Gumshoe. Yeah, I do think he's innocent. Wow, we're actually at a severe disadvantage. True. Alright. I'm actually going to end it here for today. Alright. A disadvantage. Who would have thought? Yeah, true. Alright, I'm gonna have to end it there for today. It's getting late. I'm not gonna be able to get through the entire trial within a half an hour maybe, or even an hour. I don't know. But we'll get to it tomorrow. It was actually a very fun day. Give me a second. Yeah, no, this trial is good so far. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's gonna go tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna try to save Mr. Powers tomorrow. I should, yeah, 100% be good. All right, thank you all again for joining. I appreciate all you guys being here, and I will catch you tomorrow. Have a good night. Peace out, dudes. Before I leave, we will do a quick raid to EO, the Space Cat. EO is a VTuber, and she's doing some Dark Souls Remastered right now. If you'd like to check her out, please do so. If not, have a good night overall. But again, thank you all for joining. Appreciate you guys being here, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, dudes.